Good day, greetings, students. Welcome back to your grade 6 English class. I hope all of you are safe and healthy, and of course, staying home. And I would like to repeat welcome back to your English class. The previous week, we have had subject enrichment where we have discussed about manners and etiquette. This week, we are returning to our grammar part. Do you remember what we were discussing so far, children? Yes, we were discussing about parts of speech. Let us quickly recall about parts of speech. We have 9 parts of speech, of which we have completed 6 parts of speech. What are parts of speech? Parts of speech are there in every language. That is, sentences contain certain words which belong to particular parts of speech. Based on their function, we will determine which part is that. Yes, every part of speech has a different function and they are used under different circumstances. Now, what are the 9 parts of speech we have? We have noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and articles. As I have told you already, articles is a recent addition to the parts of speech. We have been knowing and discussing only 8 parts of speech for a long time in the history of English, but recently articles are also found to be one important part of speech that was neglected for a long time and now it is brought back into existence. So, what are the 9 parts of speech, children? Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and articles. As we discussed in the beginning of class, we have completed 6 parts of speech. First one is noun. What is a noun? It is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. What does it name? It is the name of a person, a place, an animal, or a thing. And of course, the name of an idea is also called as noun. What is a noun, children? A noun is a naming word and it is the name of a person, a place, an animal, or a thing. Now you can see a number of pictures in this slide. So you have a teddy bear, an ice cream, you have a pair of keys, you have a butterfly, a camera, a cupcake, and all these are what? These are nouns. Yes, these are either names of a person or a place or an animal or a thing. You're right, children. So I hope your name, place, animal, things game has given you around 40 nouns and make sure you use them in the right manner. And do not forget the first word of a sentence starts with a capital letter. Similarly, proper nouns, the name of particular person, place starts with a capital letter. The next part of speech that we have discussed is pronoun. Pronoun is a word used instead of a noun. What is it, children? A pronoun is a word that we use instead of a noun. What is the meaning of instead, children? You're right. It is in place of. So, to avoid the repetition of a noun, we use a word which is called as pronoun. What is it, children? It is pronoun. It is not pronoun, it is pronoun. And even in this sentence, we have used a pronoun. Which is it, children? You are right. It is the word it itself. It has replaced the word pronoun. And what are the 7 popular pronouns, children? I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. And now we are moving on to the third part of speech that we have discussed. Yes, children. What is the third part of speech? It is the adjective. What do we mean by adjective? An adjective is a describing word. It describes a noun or a pronoun. What is an adjective, children? An adjective is a describing word. When we say describing, it means it says something more about a noun or a pronoun. It talks about the quality of a noun or a pronoun. And we have already discussed that colors and numbers also come under adjective. Why is that, children? It is because colors and numbers also describe a noun or a pronoun. When I say I had a strawberry milkshake, what kind of milkshake was it, children? It was a strawberry milkshake. It is a flavor and it tells you more about a noun or a pronoun. Just like that, we have numbers. I have had 1 glass of milk. So, 1 is an adjective here. Similarly, I love my violet dress. So, violet is an adjective since it is a color and it says more about the dress. Are you clear with the adjectives, children? Let's move on to the fourth part of speech, which is the verb. What is it, children? It is verb. What is a verb? A verb is an action word. And of course, it helps you to complete a sentence. What is it? We have 2 definitions for verb and it means 2 different things. What is it, children? Yes, because there are 2 kinds of verb. One is called the main verb and the second one is called the auxiliary verb. So the main verb will be an action word. What is it, children? A main verb will be an action word, whereas the words that helps you to complete a sentence are called as auxiliary verbs. The words like come, eat, learn, talk, sing are main verbs because they talk about action, whereas the words like is, am, was, were, ought to, did are examples of auxiliary verbs because they help you to complete a sentence. I hope you have enjoyed your dumb charades game with your family as well, children. The next part of speech that we are going to discuss is adverb. What does adverb do? An adverb tells more about a verb. So just like the adjective tells you more about a noun or a pronoun, an adverb tells you more about a verb. Yes, an adverb tells you how a work is done, when a work is done, or where a work is done. I saw him yesterday. So the word yesterday becomes adverb because it completes or it gives you the answer for the question, when did you see him? The action word here is saw, right? So when did that happen? It happened yesterday. So the word yesterday becomes an adverb. When we were discussing adverb, we were also reminded that the word fast never ends with ly. Isn't it, children? The word fast never ends with ly. It is not fastly, it is only fast. And what is a nice fact about the word fast? The word fast is a verb. It can be an adjective as well as an adverb. Let us have some examples for fast as a verb, then an adjective, and finally an adverb. Your first sentence here is, people fast during religious functions. Here, fast is a verb which means not eating. Yes, sometimes at our home even elders do not eat for a day, saying that there is a prayer on that particular day or some religious functions on that day. So that is called as fasting and it is a verb. Now we move on to fast as an adjective. An express train is a very fast train. So even though we have two adjectives here, we will look at fast as an adjective. This is a fast train. So what kind of train is it? It is a fast train. So that is fast as an adjective. The next sentence, the rat ran fast. How did the rat run, children? The rat ran fast. So here, fast becomes an adverb which tells you how the action is performed. So that is how fast is used as a verb, an adjective, and an adverb. The next part of speech that we have discussed is preposition. What is it, children? It is preposition. It tells you about the position of a noun. What does preposition do, children? It tells you about the relationship of a noun or a pronoun with other words of the sentence. For example, when you say the cat is under the desk, the cat is also a noun and desk is also another noun. So where is or how is the cat related to the desk? It is under the desk. So the word under becomes a preposition. We have discussed about prepositions of time, place, and direction. The words at, on, and in are commonly used pronouns between prepositions of time and prepositions of place. But still, they have different meanings when they are used with reference to time, whereas they have a different meaning in reference to place. Now, what is the next part of speech that we are going to discuss? We're going to talk about conjunction. What is it, children? It is the seventh part of speech, which is going to be conjunction. Do not make a mistake by saying it as conjunction. It is not conjunction, it is conjunction. And what is the meaning of the word conjunction? A conjunction joins two words, ideas, or phrases together in a sentence and shows how they are connected. What is the work of the conjunction, children? A conjunction joins two words, ideas, or phrases together in a sentence and shows how they are connected. Some examples of conjunction are for, and, or, but, yet, so, because, unless, and there are many more conjunctions that we will be briefing in this session, children. The example sentences are: I was exhausted, but I still finished the race. Roses and daisies are my favorite flowers. Now, this but and are two different conjunctions which hold two different meanings and entirely different. How so? How do you think these conjunctions gives us different meanings? Before we start up with examples, whenever we talk about conjunctions, this term fan boys come into existence. What are these? These stands for, and, neither, but, or, yet, and so. These are called as coordinating conjunctions. So the short forms of these words are given as fan boys. Easy for us to remember, isn't it, children? So what are these conjunctions called? These are called as coordinating conjunctions. And all these conjunctions are used in different manners. Yes, children, conjunctions differ based on the sentences we have. We have to use the appropriate conjunctions to create the right meanings of our sentences. What are the conjunctions we have here, children? For, and, neither, but, or, yet, and so. These are termed as fanboys for easy remembrance. There are different kinds of conjunctions in English. What are they? Coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. We will be discussing each of this in detail in our future classes, children. But let us quickly go through what are the conjunctions we have here. So we already know the fanboys, and next we move on to the subordinating conjunctions, which are after, although, as far as if, as long as soon as though, because, before, even if, when, where, wherever, even though, every time, if, in order that, since, so, so that, than, though, unless, until, whenever, whereas, while. And what are the correlative conjunctions? That is, they relate sentences. So here we see either, and there are dots to are. So either this or that. Like that, we have to use these correlative conjunctions. Either or, not only, but also, neither nor, both and, whether or, just as so, the, as much as, no sooner than, rather than. So these are the three kinds of conjunctions we have, children. We have discussed about coordinating conjunctions. The remaining two conjunctions will be discussed later in detail. Let us have some examples, children. I like chocolates. I like ice cream. These are two different sentences because they start with a capital letter and end with full stops. So that makes these as two different sentences. We have some conjunctions here: and, but, so, and because. It is our turn to choose the right conjunction to suit our answer. So what do you think it will be, children? The right answer is I like chocolates and ice cream. So the conjunction that we have used here is and. Why is that, children? It is because I like chocolates and I like ice creams are two positive sentences and they mean only the same things except that the object alone differs. So I like chocolates, at the same time I like ice cream. So instead of having them as two different sentences, I use the appropriate conjunction, which is and merge them into one meaningful sentence. What is my meaningful sentence now? I like chocolates and ice cream is a right sentence, children. Let us now view into another example. The next example we have here is she speaks so well, she doesn't like to sing. So here we are talking about only one subject, which is she, a girl. So she is a pronoun. Very good. And we have two different sentences here. One is positive, another one is negative. So what is the conjunction do you think we have to use here? One is positive. Which is the positive one? She speaks so well. And what is the negative one? She doesn't like to sing. That is, the girl likes to do one thing, whereas she doesn't like to do another thing. So what will be the conjunction here? Should it be and? Should it be so? Should it be because? Or should it be but? Yes, the right answer would be she speaks so well, but she doesn't like to sing. Why is that, children? Why should we use but? Because one sentence says a positive thing and another sentence says a negative thing. So these are called contradictory sentences. So they are a little opposite from what they mean in one and what they mean in another sentence. So for such kind of sentences, we have to use the conjunction but. So what will be your answer, children? Your answer for these two sentences will be she speaks so well, but she doesn't like to sing. Clear, children? When there are two positive sentences, we join them with and. But when we have two negative sentences also, we can join them with an. She doesn't like to speak and she doesn't like to sing. But here we have used the conjunction but because one is positive and one is negative. So we have to use the conjunction but in such cases. So what is your answer, children? She speaks so well, but she doesn't like to sing. Are we clear with this, children? We have seen two examples, one with and another one with but. So in your worksheet, I'll be giving you some more sentences to be joined with what? With these coordinating conjunctions. What are the coordinating conjunctions, children? For, and, neither, but, or, it, and so. With the help of these conjunctions, you will be completing your worksheet. Now, what is the meaning of the word junction, children? We see Salem Junction. So, what is junction? Junction is a place where many things meet and join. So, here, junction, conjunction does the work of joining two sentences, two ideas, or phrases. Are we clear with conjunctions, children? Now let us move on to the next part of speech, which is going to be interjection. What is the next part of speech, children? It is going to be interjection. First, let us understand what is interjection, and then we will move on with some examples and meaning of each interjections. Are you ready, children? First of all, let us understand the meaning of interjection. Interjection is a word or phrase that expresses a strong feeling or emotion. It is a short exclamation. So, when we are surprised about something, we use the exclamation mark, right, children? Exclamation mark is one of the punctuations that we use in our sentences. So, interjection is a word or a phrase too. What do we mean by phrase, children? Phrase is a collection of some words. So, this is not a complete sentence, it is a phrase where some words are given. So, a few words only make a phrase. Unlike a sentence which requires a capital letter at the beginning and a full stop at the end, a phrase doesn't require these things. These are just words connected together. So here we have some examples of interjections as well. Ouch! Wow! Well, oh, yeah, oops! So here we have some interjections, and you would have heard me right. Yes, there are ways to say your interjection. Unlike a sentence, we do not say them in a flat tone. Since it is a sudden expression or a strong emotion, the voice tone differs based on the interjection that we use. Yes, children, you heard me right. The interjections are different and are used based on the situations that we come across. The example sentences we have here are Phew! I passed my English test. So, phew is one interjection that is used when we are relieved. We are anticipating something very eagerly, and when we are relieved that it has come as a positive result, the likely interjection that we will be using is phew. So, the PH is pronounced as F, children. So it is not pew, it is few. The next example we have here is Oh, you should have seen the rainbow. And what is the interjection here, children? It is ho. So the interjections do not generally give a meaning itself. It is generally a strong emotion or a feeling that we try to express through. Now, here we have certain interjections, and what are those? Wow! So, when we are astonished, when we are shocked of something, we come across this interjection. Wow! How nice it is! And then when we are again relieved of something, we say, good grief, that is unbelievable. And then, hey. So we have discussed it in our conversations, informal conversations. It's a kind of greeting and a sudden exclamation too. Ouch! You would have heard it many times. Yes, when we hit our leg somewhere or stub our toe, we say ouch. So when we have a pain and the sudden emotion that comes out is termed in words of ouch and hooray. When we are celebrating something, we go for the three cheers which says hip hip hooray, isn't it, children? So hooray is something of celebration. The word oh is something of shocking news. Oh, is that so? Oh, did you see the rainbow? Like that. So it's a shocking thing. Oops. When you have done a mistake, we say oops. And oh no is something where you say when you did not want to hear the news, but still you have come across through the news. Here we have some more examples in sentences. Hooray! I have passed the exam. So see the happiness of the child. He's celebrating, and that is where he says, hooray! I have passed the exam. And what is another sentence? Wow, that's really great news. So you're astonished there, you're taken back. So, wow, that's really great news. So, what are interjections, children? Interjections are words used to express some sudden feeling or emotion. That's right. These interjections are words that helps us to express some sudden feeling or emotions. Now we move on to the final part of speech, the recent addition, articles. So far we have seen 8 different parts of speech, children. And each of these 8 parts of speech you would have observed, other than these 8 parts of speech, the most commonly words were a, an, the. These 3 words have occurred many times, isn't it, children? Yes, they have occurred repeatedly, and we tend to use these 3 words repeatedly. That is the reason we have added this articles also into the parts of speech. It becomes inevitable for anybody to remove these words and frame sentences. And hence here we are to discuss about the articles a, an, and the. What is the work of articles? Articles are used in front of nouns. Yes, again, these do not relate to any other part of speech. It relates only to nouns. Yes, they do not even relate to pronouns. Now, what we have to do here is we have to identify the noun and then give them the suitable article. How many articles do we have, children? We have only 3 articles, and they are a, an, and the. We do not say yeah, children. It is a, an, and the. We can see that a and an are given in one side and the is given separately. Why is that, children? Because a and an are called as indefinite articles. What are they called, children? A and an are called as indefinite articles, whereas the is called definite article. The is the only definite article. So what do we have here? A and an are used for objects that are not specific or one of several things of a similar type. They do not talk about specific objects. The example given here is I need a phone. It can be any phone, children. They do not talk specifically about a phone. So when you ask, will you give me a sharpener? It can be any sharpener. Or when I ask to the class, may I have a pencil? It can be any pencil. It is not a specific pencil that I am looking for. Now look at the side. The is called the definite article. Why so? Because it is used for specific objects or objects that both the speaker and listener know. That is, both the people in the conversation should know about the object. Only then they can use the article the. The example given here is, can you give me the books on the table? So it is specifically the books on the table. So both the speaker and the listener know the books are on the table and that only those books are required, not any other books. Right, children? The second point is a and an are used the first time we introduce an object. So this is the first time we are going to talk about an object in the conversation. Then we use a or an. I saw a movie last night. So this is the first time we are talking about that particular movie. Whereas here in the side, the example given is the movie is based on a real life incident. Why is the used here? Because we have mentioned the object already. Yes, it is used when we mention the object again. Already we have introduced the object, and second time when we mention the same object we can use the article the, because we know particularly about the object. The third point given here is used as synonyms for the number one. So when we say a pencil, a computer, that means one pencil and one computer. So a stands for only one. A or an both stands for only one. They bought a computer. Right, only one computer. Whereas the is used before plural countries or other plural regions and bodies of water. The best example one could give is the United States of America. Usually, a, an, and the will not be used with proper nouns, but with United States of America, we use the. Why? Because these are plural countries. The United States of America stands for 50 different states of America, isn't it? And just like that, we have another example, the Netherlands. And of course, and water bodies also are given with the article the. The Pacific Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and as such. The final point is a and an are used to indicate one of a group. Call a student from the class. So when I say call a student from the class, it indicates one of a group, whereas the is used before certain adjectives to give plural meaning. When we say the rich, the poor, the brilliant, the clever, we use the article the. So a and an are indefinite articles and the is a definite article. Where do we use a and where do we use an, children? Yes, a is used in front of consonant sounding singular nouns. A ball, a pen, a computer, and so on. Whereas an is used for vowel sounding singular nouns. So, what would be the examples? An hour, an apple, an orange, and so on. Now, we have heard some people say the as the, isn't it? The is pronounced as the sometimes and the sometimes. What is the difference there, children? The difference is the is pronounced as the in front of consonant sounding singular nouns or plural nouns as the case depends, whereas the is pronounced as the in front of vowel sounding nouns. We say the banana and the apple. Clear, children? That is where we differ with the and the. In simple words, the replaces a and the replaces an. Are you clear with that, children? Now that we have completed with parts of speech, let us quickly go through the 9 parts of speech we have come across, children. Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunctions, interjections, and articles. And in this class, we have discussed in detail about conjunctions, interjections, and articles. We will further move on to explore each part of speech in detail when we start up with your grammar book. So, in the meantime, make sure you have understood these 9 parts of speech briefly. You have to identify these parts of speech in sentences, children. So, that will also be an exercise in your worksheet for this week. So, I hope you have learned parts of speech clearly, and if at all you have doubts, please feel free to reach me through. And here we move on to our vocabulary. Astonished. What is the meaning of word astonished? It means shocked. I'm astonished to see you here today means I am shocked to see you here today. Something that has happened unexpectedly. The second word we have here is anticipate. So, anticipate means expect. When you say, I anticipated this, that means you expected it already. So, what are those two words, children? Astonished and anticipate. The third word that I am giving you to explore in the dictionary is victim. What is the word, children? The third word that I am giving you today is victim. You have to search the dictionary, find its meaning, and put it in your notebook in writing too. So I hope you have been updating your vocabulary page now and then and try to use these words in your sentences repeatedly so that it will help you to get used to these words, children. And what are the words we have learned today? We have astonished, which means shocked, anticipate, which means expect, and the third word we have here is victim. I'm sure you will be trying to frame your sentences also with these words, children. I hope you remember the rules of a sentence. A sentence starts with a capital letter, ends with a punctuation, and of course, the sentence should give you complete meaning. To frame sentences, you have to be clear with the parts of speech, and I'm sure you're clear about them too. Now, we have come to the end of the class. It has been wonderful teaching you about the parts of speech. I hope you all are clear about it. Try to answer the worksheets earnestly. Try not to cheat. Of course, you can take help from your parents and elders, but it doesn't mean that you can just simply copy the answers. You should try to understand them and get your answers right. Thank you, and may you all have a fantastic day today, children.